this is Lady Boulay, and welcome back to Black American Lineage. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your thumbs up, and just thank you for all you do to support this channel. And believe it or not, New York City is talking about paying reparations to descendants of slavery. And here is the headline from the Telegraph: New York to consider paying reparations for slavery. And they should be the first ones to pay, because that's where the enslaved people were brought in first. The enslaved people were put on Wall Street and auctioned off, and then turned around and built Wall Street. And all of those businesses down there on Wall Street today started out as banks or some kind of way insurance companies connected with the transatlantic slave trade. So if anybody is going to pay reparations, New York ought to be leading the way. New York is to consider paying reparations to the descendants of slaves under plans approved by the City Council. The proposals still need to be signed into law by Democratic Mayor Eric Adams. However, they would create a truth and reconciliation process to establish historical facts about slavery in the state and direct the city's Commission on Racial Equality to suggest remedies to the legacy of slavery, including reparations. They would love to slide by without paying money, but it's got to be some money in this settlement. New York fully abolished slavery in 1827, but businesses, including the predecessors of some modern banks, are believed to have benefited financially from the slave trade as late as 1866. Slavery ended in 1865, but they're still benefiting from it, okay? One of the proposals would also require the city to install a sign on Wall Street in Manhattan to mark the site of New York's first slave market, okay? The reparations movement is often misunderstood as merely a call for compensation, said Farrah Lewis, a Democratic council member who sponsored one of the bills. She told the City Council that systemic forms of oppression still affected people, including through the underfunding of services in predominantly black neighborhoods. Well, they shouldn't be let off the hook. They should properly fund those neighborhoods as they're supposed to. But they still need to cut the check for each descendant of slavery that lives in New York City. The end. Slavery existed in New York City, and even after they so-called abolished it, they still practiced it. Farrah Lewis told the City Council, "Does that mean we are going to hand everyone a check?" "No," Ms. Lewis said, according to the New York Times. Now, this woman is a Haitian immigrant. I don't trust people like her to be making decisions about Black Americans and Black Americans' business. So she bears watching, in my opinion. Yeah, they're going to give everybody a check. Everybody that was involved, everybody that's due one. If you are a descendant of slavery in America, you are due a check. Now here comes the pushback. Joseph Borelli, the council's Republican minority leader who represents Staten Island, criticized the plans. "I bear no responsibility for slavery," Mr. Borelli said in an interview, "unless someone can explain to me why I should bear some individual and societal guilt through my taxes, I'm going to be opposed." Well, see, nobody's asking for his personal feelings, and nobody's asking him to feel guilty. But yes, living in the United States of America, you benefit from the infrastructure and everything that was done through the slave system to get this empire off the ground. The Commission on Racial Equity would work with an existing state commission that is already considering the possibility of reparations for slavery. A report from the state commission is expected in early 2025, and the city commission is expected to make recommendations in 2027. And they really need to watch these immigrants, these black immigrants, because they'll be trying to work something in where they benefit from it, and that is not what it's supposed to be. The city's commission was created out of a 2021 racial justice initiative during then Mayor Bill de Blasio's administration. Although it was initially expected to consider reparations, instead, it led to the creation of the commission tracking data on the cost of living and adding a commitment to remedy past and continuing harms to the city charter's preamble. Your call and your ancestors' call for reparations had not gone unheard, Linda Tagani, executive director of the commission, said at a news conference before the council vote. It is estimated that the studies will cost $2.5 million. So they have set up a commission to study the harm that has been done and continues to be done to the black people in New York City, and they're looking for a remedy for those harms. Well, they could start by fair housing, fair education, cleaning up crime and stop dumping drugs in the neighborhood. Give the people who were affected by slavery a leg up. Help them to establish businesses. There are a lot of things that they could do if they really wanted to, but they still need to cut the checks. New York is the latest city to consider reparations. Tulsa, Oklahoma, the home of a notorious massacre of black residents in 1921, announced a similar commission last month. Allison Hedges Mason, a spokeswoman for Mayor Eric Adams, told the New York Times that he supported the legislation and called it a step toward addressing systemic inequities and reconciliation. Well, there can be no reconciliation until we get our apology and we get reparations that would include a check, but wouldn't be exclusively a check. The check would just be a part of the reparations. Okay, so it's about time New York City stepped up, because they truly benefited from slavery more than California did. And California is at least talking about it, and they'll get it done. And the federal government, these are just the little forerunners, these little state things. The federal government has to step in and really pay the real reparations. This is just a little appetizer, what these states are doing. They're just giving us a little something to chew on. But the entree, the real reparations, have to come from the federal government of the United States, because they sanctioned and enforced slavery in this country. They built generational wealth off the backs of our ancestors. We built the country, but we got no wealth. It's time for us to get our wealth. And we shouldn't have to fight. We shouldn't have to bicker. We shouldn't have to argue with these people. They know that they gained from slavery. And if they didn't know, then we're here to tell them they did. And if they weren't here, well, then you should have stayed where you were. Because when you came here and became a citizen, you took on the problems of America. America owes this debt, and we need our money. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video, and have a good day.